Gotta have a poker face like me.
New official sponsor. Gray Harbor Digital is a performance digital advertising agency that works with top brands like Capital One Shopping, Honey, and Lotto.com. Check them out online, Gray Harbor Digital.
The next segment here that I want to bring in
was obviously how I kind of got connected to you, and we'll talk more about that. But down at the Horseshoe Casino, you had been running at the end of every month, and you have one, I think, now coming up this month as well.
28th.
Yeah, So unfortunately, by the time this comes out, it'll actually be after that, but it's all good.
Oh, gotcha.
The World Series of Poker, you're running satellites. Now, how did that come about? Is that something that you planned, or they kind of said to you to do, or how'd that come about?
So that's just kind of something we have been doing, like, even before I got there, I think like a couple months before, they were always running them. You know, they might have been a little bigger and maybe like 300 or 400, but it was always like a satellite to the main. A main reason is because it's something we can offer that the other casinos can't, right? Like we have the WSOP name, and you know, last year we did, like, it was 10K and you got 1,000 cash. So, but yeah, the satellites are our best tournaments, and everybody loves them because it's a shot at history, right? Like that's every poker player's dream if you like tournaments.
Yeah,
you know, at least that's what I think. You know, to win that or make a deep run in that. I actually was friends with a guy who made a deep run. He finished like 60 in the 60s. We were all rooting for him. His name's Chris. Shout out Chris K if he's watching this when it comes out. My boy Kojak.
So that's how I got connected. I saw that you were running that, and so here's the thing. And you know, I'm not going to trash your brand too much because some of your execs might be watching this, but they don't run them in Atlantic City, and we're from this area. They used to.
I'm not really sure why that is. I couldn't tell you, man. I doesn't make sense why they wouldn't.
Yeah,
you know, it's just a tournament. It's nothing special, you know. And it's a WSOP room, I think. Harrah's, right? Harrah's is a
Harrah's, and they have Tropicana, which is a Harrah's brand now too. They bought out. They have two rooms at the moment. The other one's been shut down since COVID, but they have those two rooms. And you know, they used to run a bunch of stuff there, and they do run the online satellites, but. You know, I mean, me personally,
that's probably their thinking. Probably, like, we already got online, so who cares about the live? Even though, you know, guys like me, you, and Brian probably want to play live.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I love crushing online. I love crushing live, but I feel like I have an advantage sometimes live, and so I was like, I want to go down there and play.
Me too.
And I know Brian was trying to come down, but Brian had
with all the solvers and everything now and the HUDs, man, it's really not fair. You know, people are just playing the math, which I mean is important, but that's why I like live. People can't cheat like that and you know, just look at a solver or whatever, and you know, what should I do here? So you know, so that's not poker. That's like you got the answers to a test, you know.
Like have range charts and stuff.
I do like them online. I love them online. I've had some big wins online. So, but like cash games and stuff like that, I don't really play online. It's mainly just tournaments.
So a friend of ours, Joe, went down there the month before, and he was like, dude, you definitely got to do it. It's what was it, $260 buy-in, right?
$260, yep.
And he's like, you know, it's a one-day turbo, basically. And so that was the other thing that was enticing to me, because obviously I have a 2-hour drive to get down there and back from where, which isn't a, you know, big deal. But, you know, with work and kids and family, I was like, you know what? I can go down there. I can do this whole satellite, be home in time, and still make it to work the next morning. So I was like, this is perfect. You know, let's do it. So me, my buddy Joe, another guy from me and Keen's Poker League, Pete, we shot down there. And, you know, I remember we got down there. I was like, all right, it's a decent crowd. I think the day that I was there, I think there's 150, 160 people. So nothing, you know, too crazy, but just the sweet number right there.
Yeah, 3 seats. I mean,
yeah, it was 3
can't
seats.
beat that.
And so what was crazy was we got down to, I think, 23 people. And so myself, Joe, and Pete were all still 3 in. So I'm like texting Keen. He's like,
oh, that's sick. I didn't know you guys were running that deep.
Yeah, we were all deep. And I'm texting Keen. He's jealous over there. And he's like, oh, what are you guys doing? You know? And I'm like, dude, all 3 of us are in right now. There's 23 of us left. All 3 of us are still in. They're giving away 3 seats. I was like, one of us is shipping this thing. Like, it's about to happen.
Listen,
dude, you needed that for the subscribers.
Look, I'll say this right now. Let me just put this out there. That says a whole hell of a lot about the player pool that was in that tournament. If all 3 of those jokers were still in when there was 20-some people left, okay?
They must have had that run good.
I play with 2 of the 3 of those guys. Well, I play with all 3 of those guys every single month, and I'll tell you what. It wasn't surprising that Anthony was there, but
the other 2.
Look, my grandma raised me. She said, "You don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all." So I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
Did either of them make the final table with you, or no?
They end up busting like 22nd, and another guy busted the final 2 tables.
Okay.
And then I went on and just we got down to the final table, and here's what's crazy, and there was a dude. Because I think, Mary, I think you left. I think you were done for the day. I guess you were clocked out or whatever.
Yeah, I left, I think, right when there was like 4 tables, I think I left.
Okay, so when we were down to 2 tables, I guess there was, if I'm going to remember the numbers real quick in my head, there was like, let's say 4.5 million in chips left, right? Or something along those lines. There's like 4 million or something like that in chips. When we had 2 tables left, there was one dude, an older gentleman, he had 1.5 million chips with 20 people left. He had like more than a third of the stack. And I was like, he wasn't on my table though. I was like walking over and looking, I'm like, damn,
right,
stacked up. So then we get down the final table, and there's still, there's 4 million in play, and he still had 1.5 million at the final table. And this dude, he could have just waited it out.
Mm-hmm.
And he imploded, dude. He absolutely imploded.
Oh,
you gotta know, some people just don't know how to play satellites. That's really what it is. Like, they just don't. Like, he probably could have, he could have at least gave himself a fighting chance, made it to the last 5 or 4. But yeah, I've seen it. They don't understand you don't need to win,
Yeah.
Or they don't understand about like knocking people out, like calling when they have a lot of chips and, calling with spectacle hands.
Yeah.
I never really feel too bad, but I kind of felt a little bad for this guy, and I was like, oh man, but it is what it is. And then we got down to 5, and there was a couple short stacks, and then this one guy, he's in the picture. I think he was actually from the Navy. I was talking a little bit, and he's retired now. And he just was like, I was calling him the Terminator, because he was just knocking it out dudes left and right.
Nice.
He was doing the work for the rest of us. I was like, yes.
You always need somebody to do the dirty work. You need somebody to do the dirty work. Yeah.
Like, let this dude just risk all his and just take all these guys out as I ladder up. Like, ding, 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 ding.
And so end of story, end up shipping. And so what's cool about you guys is you give the option of either cash or the ticket. And all 3 of us were like, we're going.
Yeah,
so,
lock it up, man. Lock it up.
So
yeah, that's awesome.
Wait, I got a quote from you that day, and I don't know if you remember this, but I'm gonna hold this to you. You said if someone here wins the main event, their picture gets hung up in the Baltimore Horseshoe.
100%.
Nice.
100%. I said that the last one too. Come on. How could you not love that? Somebody wins a Saturday in your own casino, like I'll make it happen. Trust me, I will make it happen. You whatever picture you want, as long as it's nothing too crazy. You got it, man. So good luck.
Let me pick the picture.
Let's go.
So one thing I do like, Keen, have you been to the Horseshoe down there or no? Have you been there?
I've only been to, like you said, I've been to Maryland Live. I haven't had the luxury to get down there and check it out. But I'm hoping to get down there. I probably won't make the 28th. And I think that's your last one, right? You're not having anything after the 28th.
I'm doing 2 in June. I'll talk about them later. When you want to talk about it. Yeah, I'm doing 2 because the main's not until the beginning of July. So I can still I can run as many as I want, but I don't want to oversaturate it.
Yeah.
So I think 2 right before is going to be great.
Okay.
And so one thing I like about your room is you have all these pictures of like the legends of poker all over the place. And you got like even I think Binion in the front there. I think maybe Jack Binion or something. And you got all the cool like big pictures there. So I really like that room because it, when I go into poker rooms, like I want to feel kind of, as much as I'm a degenerate and I like slots and gambling and all that stuff, like I kind of want to feel out of the casino for a minute while I'm in the poker room. And
yeah,
some places are like that, and some places are just right in the middle of the slots, and you're like, okay, you know, whatever. But I do like that your room is kind of like its own entity of you know, an environment.
yeah. I think that's what every good poker room should be. You know, you should be away from all that other stuff. You shouldn't be around a bunch of slot machines. I mean, they should be like, I mean, they're right outside, but our room is our room. You know, I always joke, like, whenever I walk on the casino floor, it's like I'm in another world, because, you know, we're always just in the poker room. You know, the other dealers don't go deal anything else. So yeah, but it's nice. I like the way our room's laid out. I like the way it's lit. You know, I want to make a couple changes here coming up next year, but overall, I just, you know, it's one of the better poker rooms I've been to.
Nice.
So
out of the hold on real quick, Ant.
You got it.
So out of the satellites that you ran so far, how many players are representing the Horseshoe Maryland or Horseshoe Baltimore in the main this year so far?
So there was the first one, we had 2. I think the next couple took cash in February, March took cash. What was yours, Anthony? April?
Yeah, I was April, and all 3 of us are going.
Okay, so 5. One guy, it was 3 who won, but one guy ended up wanting to take the cash, so he came back and took the cash, and I said that was okay. You know, I'm not going to deny you if you change your mind. Yeah, but so 5 are going right now, because they chopped the one in February, and then the one in March they chopped up like 7 ways. They each got like 4,500 or something like that. So
not bad.
Yeah. It's not mandatory that, you know, whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah,
it's not mandatory. You have to play it out. If you guys can come to an agreement, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's good. You know, and so are you going to? Is this going to continue, I guess, for the fall, or like what's the game plan for next year? I
think I'm just going to keep running them, right? Like they're our most successful tournament. Maybe I won't do to the main. Maybe I'll do to like something else. Maybe like a circuit event package, or you know, pick what you want to do with it type deal. But yeah, because you know, I don't want to do one in August, like do a main event one for, you know. But I'll do something like that, because they are by far our most popular tournament as of right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, I will definitely be back at some point next year to try to win my seat again.
I bet you will.
And now that Brian knows the field's soft, though, so he's coming too. He's like, oh, I'm definitely coming.
I'm gonna be there.
It's the satellite. Come on, man, let's go. It's the satellite.
Yeah.
So I want to break it. Brian, you have any more questions before we jump into the next segment?
Nah, I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing, you know, what you guys got on tap next couple months. So yeah.